Good morning. Well, I say good morning. Seems like got some nice sunlight at the minute, but just south of here, we've got Storm Claudia raging away. We've had quite a lot of water up here during the last week or two, and there has been quite a few floods about. Today, I've come to a place called Finglandrigg Wood. I really don't know what to expect here. As I say, we've got the storm south of us. It's supposed to stay dry here all day. It's quite windy, but because we're north of the storm, there's a low pressure to the north as well, which is dragging down all this cold air from the Arctic. So we've got bitterly cold northeasterlies as well at the moment. My last video on the fungi, I posted a few images onto a Facebook group I'm a member of. Somebody commented on there, they said, oh, they look really good. They look like something that Courtney Victoria would do. Do you follow her? And I said, no, I never heard of her. So I went across to her and found her on YouTube. And I've got to say, I'm fascinated by the videos she does. She does a lot of like forest or woodland images. That's her sort of like passion. Waterfalls and also some macro photography with the fungi. So if you don't actually follow her, I will put a link down in the description. Please do go and have a look. But watching her has got me more interested in my own photography, more in the ways of what I do things. And because of that, I've literally brought all of my kit today. So I'm going to have quite a heavy rucksack to carry around. The place is really a wildlife haven, especially if you come summertime as well, because it's got red squirrels, it's got deer, it's got badgers, otters. There's about 40 varieties of birds as well as some rare butterflies, which were, I believe, they had become extinct in the UK and they were reintroduced here, actually at this woodland, probably about 10-15 years ago. So obviously I'm not going to see them this time of the year. So I'm going to get my boots on, get my rucksack on my back and get into the woods. Now, I've not even got to the woods yet. I think it's a little bit further up there as yet. Just walking up the pathway here, and I'm going to turn this around. And I mean, this looks all pretty ordinary, especially with the open sky and everything. But the thing I've learned from watching Courtney's videos is just look at the smaller picture here by zooming in a little bit. And I don't know how well this actually shows on the screen there. But all of a sudden that becomes a total different image from there. And I've just had a dog walker come through with about 4 or 5 dogs while I was trying to set up. So I did quickly take a couple of snaps, one with him with the dogs and then one with a dog on its own at the end there. So it's probably not properly composed, might even not be properly exposed. Also with watching Courtney is getting the tripod out. You slow yourself down, and this is one of the reasons why I want to bring everything, is that I can now just drop my ISO straight down to 100 there. It means I've got to take the shutter speed up a bit, and I'm shooting at f10, 1/8 of a second, so I better put a timer on there as well, just so I can take out the camera shake. Just switch this to video mode now, and you can hopefully see on the video what it's like with zoomed in, and I can't see which, and I am probably in towards the top end of my lens is about 100mm, but if I zoom out to more the image, what you see, so that's now at 24mm, and that sky is all sort of just dominant and blown out. So by taking that right in, and I might even include this puddle here on the bottom right, literally by my feet here. Because of the puddle down here, I just took a little bit of a further step back, and I'm actually more pleased now. I've got the puddle in the bottom right hand corner of the image here, and I've got what's leading through, going through there. So I'm just going to take a picture there. One thing I've been learning from watching Courtney's videos is, rather than carrying the camera around all the time, stop, have a look around. Just by walking down here, I found that the view you got that in with the camera is nowhere near as good as where I've just stopped there, and that's with looking both ways. Now, I've just got back into camera club photography, and I did it quite a few years ago. And one of the things I find when you do club photography, you're always trying to do your images to please the judge, which is all very well and good, but it restricts you to everything you do. For example, I mean, even this scene here, it looks really, really nice, but a judge would probably turn around and say, wouldn't it be nice if you got somebody walking down there to give some form of perspective to scale? Why can't you have a good image with nobody in it to show perspective of scale? I've just had to dump my rucksack over there because everywhere is so wet and flooded. I want somewhere dry to put it, and it's more simply because I want to get the polarizer filter out. And the polarizing filter I've got on here, I have done a video on this. It's actually also a variable neutral density filter as well, so I've got it set to the lowest setting on the neutral density, which is 1 stop. And I guess the polarizer will also have a slight effect on it as well. Taking out all that sky, so just have that small area across the top. Now if I spin the camera around to this side, we've got a similar sort of situation, and this one's actually quite nice. We've got that tree running right down the centre of the puddle there, and I don't think I need to really include all the tree. I've not come very far, just literally the other side of these trees is where that footpath is, where I just taken those last images. And I did come across a couple of mushrooms. Here we've got this one that I've got isolated. Now, I'm not usually a person to play around with lighting. All of these lights are actually adjustable for colour, brightness, temperature. Playing around with lighting like this is something totally new to me, so it's also nice to totally experiment. Take some images as normal with just a normal daylight and then start adding these in one by one to try and fill in light. This macro lens I've got here, I bought from a website called MPB. Got to say the service is really, really good. I also bought my 16mm lens from them as well, and which I still haven't used. And I always had a worry about spending so much money online like that to something like second hand, but they rate all their equipment. You have, I think it's something like a 14-day return policy, so if it turns up and it's not in the condition you expect, you can send it back. And I believe everything also comes with a 1-year warranty as standard as well, so it's well worth having a look at. Just come across this tree where this branch has broken off, obviously in the bad weather at some point, and it must have been quite some time ago because the sheer amount of moss that's on there, and especially down the bottom here. Even though the sky has actually got some blue colour in it, you lose it all with the exposure. I've not really tried much into exposure bracketing before. Because of the wind, I don't think I can really do that, because if I expose for the sky, these leaves are moving about so much. I've just come across these fungi, and you'll see there on this log, which I did pick up off the ground, because I want to photograph these so they've got a slightly better background, which is why I've just found this old piece of sawn off piece of silver birch and moved that across here to make the makeshift sort of like stand to put this on. And when I'm finished, I will put everything back where I found it anyway. But at the moment, I'm just concentrating on this individual fungi on its own, and may well play with a little bit of lighting as well. But it's this big one on the end here I really like. It's growing from underneath. Wind is really picking up now. It's getting cold. This is what I've been playing with. I've actually just took these fungi mushrooms that are all on the end here, got the camera right low down, and I've got a warm light shining up from underneath, and then also one mounted to the front of my tripod on warmth, and just really as a little bit of fill-in light, got sort of more of a natural light from that side. Even though that one really isn't doing much this time, but because of the wind, I mean, you can totally see the mushrooms are swaying around. I've had to bring my rucksack in, and I've been also stood here in this gap to basically just try and cut out any wind movement. So I'm going to pack this lot up now and going to put this log of mushrooms back over the other side there, precisely where I found them. I seem to have spent ages in probably what is a handful of spots, getting to about the far end of the woods, and now I'm on my way back down the other side. So I'm really going to treat this property part as more of a scouting mission to see what the places look like. At the moment, certainly looking to come back again, but hopefully I've got one or two good images there, and please do let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching.